Look at your legs. Really look at them. If they feel heavy, if they feel cold, or if they seize up in the middle of the night, you are not just getting old. You are experiencing a biological starvation of your lower extremities. I am Dr. Alan Sterling. In my 40 years of regenerative medicine, I have seen thousands of seniors who were told their leg pain was inevitable. It isn't. But to fix it, you have to understand that your legs are the furthest outposts of your body's empire. Right now, your supply lines are being cut. Your blood, which should be a rushing river of life-giving oxygen, has turned into stagnant metabolic sludge. This sludge is thick, viscous, and unable to penetrate the tiny capillaries that keep your skin, muscles, and nerves alive. The competitor video you might have seen mentions that poor circulation is like a highway. That's a decent start, but it's too simple. The reality is more dangerous. It's about your endothelium, the thin single-cell lining of your blood vessels. When you were 20, your endothelium produced massive amounts of nitric oxide, a gas that keeps your vessels flexible and wide open. By age 60, your production of this gas has plummeted by 75%. Your vessels aren't just clogged. They are becoming rigid, brittle pipes. When your vessels stiffen, the blood can't reach your feet. This is why you feel like you're dragging lead weights. You are literally walking on tissues that are suffocating in real time. Before we move to the protocol, I need to know the scale of this crisis. Go to the comments right now and tell me, how many years have you been living with this pain? And tell me the one thing you can no longer do. Is it walking to the park? Is it playing with your grandkids? I read every comment because I need to see the faces of the people the medical system has written off. Let's get clinical. There are 5 red flags that your circulation has reached a breaking point. If you have even 2 of these, you are in the danger zone for clots or permanent nerve damage. Warning sign number 1, ischemic skin changes. Have you noticed your feet or ankles looking pale, bluish, or even having dark mottled patches? This isn't a cosmetic issue. It's called cyanosis. It means your blood is so depleted of oxygen by the time it reaches your toes that it turns blue. This skin is starving. It becomes thin, shiny, hard, and brittle. If you get a small cut or a blister that takes weeks to heal, that is a massive red flag. Without blood flow, your body cannot send the repair crews to heal a simple scratch. This is how minor injuries turn into dangerous ulcers. Warning sign number 2, the bear trap cramps. These aren't normal muscle twitches. These are sharp, agonizing cramps that force you to stop walking or wake you up screaming at 3 a.m. In the medical world, we call this intermittent claudication. When you move, your muscles demand more oxygen. But because your pipes are narrowed, the supply can't meet the demand. Your muscles begin to produce lactic acid at an alarming rate, literally burning from the inside out. If you have to sit down for 5 minutes just to walk 100 yards, your arteries are likely 70% blocked. All warning sign number 3, the pins and needles short circuit. That frequent tingling or numbness in your feet is often dismissed as just a pinched nerve. It isn't. Your nerves are like fiber optic cables, and they are surrounded by tiny blood vessels called the vasa nervorum. When your circulation turns to sludge, these tiny vessels fail first. Your nerves stop receiving fuel and start to short circuit. That tingling is the sound of your nerves dying. If you ignore this, it progresses to peripheral neuropathy, where you lose balance and increase your risk of a life-altering fall. Warning sign number 4, icy feet in a warm room. If you're wearing wool socks in the middle of summer, your biological furnace is broken. Blood carries heat. If your feet are cold, the blood isn't getting there. This is often a sign of atherosclerosis, the buildup of plaque that acts like a kink in a garden hose. This isn't just about comfort. It's about the survival of your toes. Warning sign number 5, the map of pain. Varicose and spider veins. Those bulging, twisted blue lines are the clearest evidence of venous insufficiency. Your veins have tiny one-way valves designed to push blood back up to your heart. In your 60s, these valves can fail, allowing blood to pool at your ankles. This creates massive pressure, leading to that heavy, dragging feeling at the end of the day. If you see spider veins, don't think cosmetic. Think vascular collapse. If you're tired of being told by 10-minute doctors that this is just aging, type "I deserve better" in the comments right now. We need to demand a higher standard of care. Now, we are going to perform the Sterling sensation test. I want you to sit on the edge of your chair, lift your right leg, and point your toes towards your nose, then away as fast as you can for 30 seconds. Do it now. Don't stop. Now, stop and feel your calf. Does it feel heavy? Is it burning? Does the skin feel cold compared to your thigh? Tell me your result in the comments right now. Type warm, tingle, or heavy. I need to see the state of your vascular health before I hand you the Trinity Protocol. What I'm about to show you in the next part is something no senior health video will tell you. We aren't just going to manage these signs. We are going to reverse them using the Trinity Protocol. Or we're going to discuss the vascular baptism, a specific nutritional reset that forces your vessels to expand and flush out the metabolic sludge. We aren't just moving blood, we are regenerating the very infrastructure of your legs. You've been told the damage is permanent. I'm here to tell you that with the right fuel and the right protocol, your body is capable of a comeback that will shock your doctor. Now that you've identified the warning signs of vascular collapse, it is time to stop the bleeding, figuratively and literally. You've likely seen videos from other experts claiming that one single vitamin, usually magnesium, is the magic key to fixing your legs. I'm here to tell you that magnesium is a side character. It's a minor player. If your house is burning down, magnesium is a glass of water. It's not enough. To truly restore leg circulation after 60, you need a biological special forces team. In my clinic, we call this the Trinity Protocol. It is a 3-pronged assault on sludge blood, dying nerves, and failing muscles. Most doctors won't tell you about this because it's too simple and too cheap. They'd rather keep you on a path of management until you're in a wheelchair. If that makes you as angry as it makes me, I want you to go to the comments right now and type, "I deserve better." Say it loud, because you do. You deserve to have your freedom back. You deserve to walk without pain. Now, let's get into the science of the comeback. The first and most powerful pillar of the Trinity Protocol is vitamin B3, specifically in the form of nicotinic acid. You might know it as niacin, but here is where the polite doctors fail you. They recommend no-flush niacin because they're afraid of a little heat. That is a massive mistake. No-flush niacin is chemically altered so it doesn't dilate your blood vessels. For your circulation, it is practically useless. To fix your legs, you need the flush. I call this the vascular baptism. Think of your blood vessels as an old, abandoned house. For decades, the water has been turned off. The pipes are rusted, all clogged with mineral deposits, and bone dry. When you take therapeutic-grade nicotinic acid, it acts like a high-pressure fire hose. It forces the production of prostaglandins, which signal your blood vessels to open up. Not just the big ones, but the tiny, microscopic capillaries in your toes that haven't seen a red blood cell in years. Within 20 minutes, your face will get red. Your chest will feel hot. You might even feel an itch. Most people panic. I want you to embrace the heat. That sensation is the sound of the floodgates opening. It is the vascular baptism flushing out the metabolic sludge that has been starving your tissues. If you don't feel the heat, you aren't getting the healing. This is the only way to reach the furthest outposts of your body. But opening the pipes is only half the battle. Beyond, we have to address the short circuit. Your nerves are like fiber optic cables that run from your spine to your toes. In a healthy body, these cables are protected by a thick, fatty coating called the myelin sheath. But when your circulation fails, your nerves are left out in the cold. Without oxygen, a wildfire of inflammation and oxidative stress begins to melt that protective coating. This is why you feel that agonizing tingling, that pins and needles sensation. Your nerves are literally short-circuiting because they are exposed. This is where the second pillar comes in, alpha-lipoic acid, ALA. Think of ALA as the vascular fireman. It is one of the only antioxidants on Earth that is both fat-soluble and water-soluble, meaning it can penetrate every single cell in your body, including your nerve endings. It goes into the wildfire and puts out the flames of oxidative stress. It allows your body to begin the painstaking process of rebuilding that myelin sheath. When you combine the opening power of B3 with the repairing power of ALA, you aren't just moving blood, you are repairing the communication lines in your legs. This is how we stop the numbness before it turns into permanent neuropathy. Finally, we have to talk about the battery. Your calf muscles are not just for walking. They are your second heart. Every time you take a step, your calves squeeze the blood in your legs and pump it back up against gravity to your heart. But if your muscle cells are starving, their mitochondrial furnaces go cold. They don't have the energy to pump. This is why your legs feel like lead weights by the end of the day. The blood pools at your ankles because the pump has no power. The third pillar of the Trinity Protocol is L-carnitine. Think of L-carnitine as the shuttle bus for fuel. Its only job is to carry fatty acids into your mitochondria so they can be burned for energy. By flooding your system with L-carnitine, you are effectively jump-starting the batteries in your legs. You are giving your second heart the voltage it needs to clear out the stagnant blood and keep your legs feeling light and energized. This is the difference between shuffling across a room and walking with purpose. I want you to think about this stack for a moment. Niacin opens the front door. ALA repairs the wiring. L-carnitine turns the power back on. If you take one without the others, the system remains broken. The medical system wants you to believe that your body is a collection of separate parts that just break down like an old car. I am telling you that your body is a unified, regenerative biological machine. It doesn't need a fix. It needs the right inputs. The reason I'm so direct with you is that I see what happens when people wait. I see the patients who ignored the cold feet until they turned purple. I see the people who took it easy until their muscles withered away. I refuse to let that be your story. We are going to conduct a commitment check right now. I don't want triers. I want doers. If you are ready to pledge yourself to this protocol, if you are ready to face the vascular baptism and reclaim your mobility, I want you to go to the comments right now and type, "I am ready." This is your contract with your future self. You might be wondering where you get these items. You don't need a high-priced specialty pharmacy. You can find the components of the Trinity Protocol at your local grocer. Places like Walmart or Costco have everything you need if you know what to look for. In the final part of this series, I'm going to give you the Nature's Pharmacy Guide. I will show you exactly which foods like yellowfin tuna and sunflower seeds act as niacin bombs and vascular shields. I will also give you the exact daily dosages I use in my clinic to achieve these results. But before we get there, I need you to understand one thing. The flush is not your enemy. The heat is your friend. The bear trap cramps you feel at night are a cry for help from a body that is starving. We are going to answer that cry. We are going to move from sludge blood to flowing life. Oh, and the road to recovery isn't paved with taking it easy. It's paved with the Trinity Protocol. I'm Dr. Alan Sterling. Stay tough. The best years of your life require the best circulation of your life. I'll see you in part 3, where we put the protocol into action. You now have the map. You understand the Trinity Protocol, the expansion of the vessels, the repair of the nerves, and the jump-starting of the muscular battery. But a map is useless if you don't start walking. Today, I am taking you out of the sterile clinic and into the aisles of your local grocery store. You don't need an elite, high-priced specialty pharmacy in Beverly Hills to fix your legs. You need a shopping cart and the sterling standard grocery list. Whether you shop at Walmart, Costco, or a local farmer's market, Nature's Pharmacy is open for business. Let's start with your lead scout, vitamin B3. While I often recommend high-quality nicotinic acid supplements to achieve that therapeutic vascular baptism, you must support that reset with the right fuel. Your secret weapon is sitting in a can in the pantry aisle. Yellowfin tuna. This is the single most potent niacin bomb on the planet. One single serving of tuna provides nearly 100% of your daily requirement. It is the cheapest, most effective way to keep those blood vessel gates forced open. If you aren't eating tuna or wild-caught salmon at least 3 times a week, you are starving your endothelium. Next, look for peanuts. I know, the diet gurus tell you to avoid them because of the fats. Listen to me. A handful of roasted peanuts is packed with niacin and vitamin E. I call vitamin E the vascular shield. It keeps your blood slippery. It prevents the metabolic sludge from clumping together into the dangerous microclots that lead to strokes and deep vein thrombosis. If you want your blood to flow like a mountain stream instead of stagnant swamp water, you need that slippery shield. Now, let's talk about the controversial one, red meat. For years, the 10-minute doctors have told you to avoid red meat like the plague. If you want your legs to wither away and your second heart to fail, then by all means, follow their advice. But if you want the L-carnitine necessary to fuel the mitochondrial furnaces in your calves, you need lean, grass-fed beef at least twice a week. L-carnitine is the shuttle bus that carries fuel into your muscle cells. Without it, your legs will always feel like lead weights. You are a biological machine. Machines need high-octane fuel, not tea and white toast. To support your nerves and provide that ALA, you need the green fireman. Or spinach and broccoli are not just side dishes. They are the delivery system for the antioxidants that cross the blood-nerve barrier. They go into the wildfire of your legs and start cooling the inflammation. If your plate isn't half covered in dark greens, your fiber optic nerves will never have the chance to rebuild their protective coating. Now, listen to the dosages, because this is where most people fail. In my clinic, we don't play with minimum daily requirements. Those numbers are designed to keep you from getting scurvy, not to regenerate a 60-year-old vascular system. For the Trinity Protocol to work, we often look at 250 milligrams to 500 milligrams of nicotinic acid to trigger that vascular baptism. Start low and work your way up under supervision. We look at 600 milligrams of ALA daily to quench the nerve fire. And we look at 1,000 milligrams of L-carnitine to jumpstart the pump. This is the Sterling standard. It's bold, it's direct, and it's effective. But nutrients alone aren't enough. You have to assist the biology with mechanical movement. I want to teach you the Sterling heel drop. Most seniors are told to go for a walk, but if your legs already hurt, a walk feels like a punishment. Instead, do this every hour while you are standing at the kitchen counter or even sitting in your chair. Rise up onto your tiptoes as high as you can, hold for 1 second, and then drop your heels back down. Do this 20 times. This pumps the blood out of your ankles and forces it back toward your heart. It is mechanical assistance for your second heart. It clears the swamp so the fresh, oxygenated blood from the Trinity Protocol can move in. And I want to share the story of a man who wouldn't quit. His name was George, 72 years old. George came to me when his world had shrunk to the distance between his bed and his recliner. He had ischemic starvation. His feet were ghost white and icy cold. His doctor told him to accept his limitations. George looked at me and said, "Doctor, I'm not ready to be a spectator in my own life." We put George on the Trinity Protocol. We hit the vascular baptism hard with nicotinic acid. We flooded his nerves with ALA. In the first month, George complained about the heat of the flush. I told him, "George, that heat is the sound of your life returning. Don't turn down the thermostat." By month 2, the bear trap cramps that had haunted him for a decade simply vanished. By month 3, George didn't walk to the mailbox. He walked his granddaughter down the aisle at her wedding, standing tall without a cane, without a limp, and without pain. That is the power of addressing the root cause instead of masking the symptoms. We are at the end of this journey. I have given you the science, the signs, and the protocol. Now, I need your word. I am not interested in viewers. I am interested in success stories. If you are ready to stop being a victim of your own circulation, if you are ready to face the heat of the vascular baptism and reclaim your freedom, I want you to go to the comments right now and type, I am ready. This is your pledge. This is the moment you stop declining and start regenerating. Don't let another day go by where your feet are cold and your legs are heavy. The sludge blood stops today. The vascular wildfire ends today. You have the Trinity Protocol. You have the Sterling Standard. Now, get to the store, get your fuel, and get your life back. I'm Dr. Alan Sterling. Stay tough, stay active, and for heaven's sake, keep that blood moving. I'll see you on the walking trail.